Now we will focus to the next step of the digestive system. So we finished stomach in previous class. And today we will focus on the small intestine mostly, okay? So small intestine, so after the stomach comes small intestine, it has three parts. You should know those three parts. The first is duodenum, okay, after the stomach, and follows jejunum and then ileum. So duodenum, jejunum, and ileum are parts of the small intestine. So mouth, esophagus, stomach, duodenum, jejunum, and ileum are the parts of the small intestine. Happen in the small intestine. So the longest part of the alimentary canal is the small intestine. It is 7 meters long or 23 feet. They have the folds and the villi to increase the surface area. Screen. Everything visible?
Yes.
Yeah, in a small intestine inside there are folds. You can see the folds here, right? The folds. I will show you the cross section of the folds. This is the fold, which is called the plica circularis. So these are the folds, but those folds are for absorbing more and more proteins, lipids, okay, carbs, absorbing more of them, majority of them, because when they extend to the surface, when they extend to the inner part of the small intestine, this is also extra surface to get more and more nutrients, okay? But it's not enough. It's not enough. That's why on the surface they have the villi, okay? Those purple in color, they call the villi. One is called the villus, okay? Only one is called the villus, but it's also not enough. On the top of the villus, there are smaller villi, which are called the microvilli, or another name is brush border. It's important to know the brush border for the exam purposes. So there are brush border to get more and more nutrients absorbed. Okay, they're also called columnar epithelial cells. So the folds and the villi, they increase the surface area inside it to absorb more wisdom. Once the chyme enters the small intestine, what's chyme? Chyme is a mixture of gastric content with acid, right? So it's undigested or partially digested food with the gastric enzyme, with gastric acids. They're called the chyme. Once the chyme enters the small intestine from the stomach, it receives the bile. Okay, it receives the bile. How? As you can see, the bile is stored in the gallbladder. There is a liver which produces the bile, and bile is stored in the gallbladder. This bile, you see, they open to the duodenum. Okay, the bile will be released and gets into the duodenal part. Okay, so from the gallbladder and many enzymes from the pancreas. Which enzymes we talked about in previous class? This is the pancreas. The enzymes of the pancreas, you see there is a pancreatic duct, trypsin, lipase, and amylase. Those are the enzymes. They also open through the pancreatic duct. There is a pancreas. This is the tail, body, and the head of the pancreas. They with special ducts, which is called pancreatic duct, trypsin, lipase, amylase enzymes, they also come to the small intestine. This is the chyme, and they mix with, chyme will mix with bile and also pancreatic enzymes, which is trypsin, lipase, and amylase. Okay, the capillaries from the small intestine merge to form special veins called the portal veins. This is the portal vein. You see, these are the intestine, and these are the capillaries. Okay, they merge to form the veins. Those veins then form bigger veins, which is called portal veins, and they go to the liver for detoxification. If there are any toxins, they will be detoxified in the liver. Everything which is absorbed from the intestines, they will straight go to the liver, okay, with veins, which divide into capillaries again when they reach the liver. You see, these veins will form again the capillaries in the liver. Okay, this system is called hepatic portal system. Okay, so almost, this is really important for the exam purposes, all digestion and all absorption, they occur in the small intestine. Okay, almost all digestion and absorption, small intestine. So first, digestion of the carbohydrates, they occur in the mouth, partially digest. First, digestion of the proteins, they occur in the stomach. In the first digestion of the lipids, they occur in the small intestine by the enzyme, which is called the lipase, which is released from pancreas by Atzner cells. They came to the small intestine with pancreatic ducts, which open to the duodenum and mixed with chyme. So this is important. So after that, liver. Let's talk about the liver. Makes the bile, żelch. Bile is produced in the liver and it's stored and concentrated in the gallbladder. This is exam purposes. For the exam purpose, it's really important. Made in the liver, concentrated and stored in the gallbladder, and release it into the small intestine with special duct, which is common bile duct. Okay, you can see common bile duct. They release it into the small intestine and to help the emulsify the fat. What's emulsification of the fat? There is a fat droplet. These are the biles. You see bile. Bile comes to the fat and break them down. This is called the emulsification process. Okay, breaking down the fats is called the emulsification process, and this is done by the bile. Another function of the liver is to store the glycogen. As I said previously, glucose is stored as a glycogen in the liver and the muscles. It produces the glucose, okay? It produces the glucose with the hormone, which is called glucagon, which is secreted by alpha cells in the pancreas. And metabolizes the fats, okay? Produces the blood proteins, essential blood protein, which is called albumin, okay? Albumin, you see, this albumin is produced, blood protein albumin is produced from the liver to keep the water inside of your blood vessels. If the albumin is deficient, all the plasma will get outside from the blood vessels. You will have edema, then atyok, and stores the vitamins. Okay, this is the place where a lot of vitamins stored, vitamin K, A, and others. Okay, and it detoxifies the blood. If there are toxins from the small intestine, they will go for the detoxification to the liver, to the portal system, hepatic portal system. Okay, any questions from here? So pancreas, let's count all the secretions of the pancreas. Pancreas secretes exocrine secretions, amylase, lipase, proteases. We talked in the previous lecture. And also it synthesizes hormones. We talked about the glucagon and insulin. And also it synthesizes the bicarbonate. Okay, so this is the bicarbonate. Bicarbonate. It is synthesized to make or to neutralize the duodenum, to neutralize the acidic environment which is coming from the stomach. The chyme is bringing with itself the stomach acid. It should be neutralized. For the neutralization, we need alkaline. And this bicarbonate is an alkaline which goes to the duodenum, okay, to neutralize the chyme, not to harm the duodenum from the acid, okay? As a result, the pH in the intestines is close to the neutral always, okay? I hope you understood. The colon. So this is the colon. So from the small intestine, from duodenum, jejunum, ileum, all the contents will go to the colon. So this is duodenum, jejunum, then ileum. After that comes the cecum. This is the first portion of the large intestine, cecum, okay? So in the cecum, there is appendix. There is appendix located in the cecum on the right side, okay? And after cecum, there is ascending colon, which goes up. Then transverse colon, which transversely cross the abdomen. After that, descending colon. Then sigmoid colon. This is the sigmoid colon. Then rectum and anus. Okay, so the anus, it goes outside all the contents. And in the large intestine is 1.5 meter long. Okay, so it contains the E. coli. This is bacteria, which is non-pathogenic bacteria. It helps to keep the pathogenic bacteria from growing. So pathogenic bacteria won't grow in the area of healthy bacteria. So this is the healthy bacteria of our biome, okay, microbiome. It supplies us with vitamin K. It is like mutualistic relationship. We give the food to the E. coli for survival, and in return, it produces us the vitamin K, which is important for the blood clotting. Okay, свертывание крови. For blood clotting, we need vitamin K. And there is no digestion in the colon. There is no digestion of the proteins, lipids, carbs, okay? Only reabsorption of the water happens in the colon. Reabsorption of the water from the chyme, so produce the feces, and also it reabsorbs the minerals as well. And the feces stores in the large intestine and eliminated from the body through the rectum and the anus. Okay? Any questions so far? So let's revise the
What is the
alimentary
function
canal.
of appendix?
Appendix function is it's a rudimental organ. It doesn't have any functions in our body, but some scientists now are proving that it has immune function in our body. So it's like immunity. It gives us immunity to our body. Okay, so not much function. It's like if you delete it, you can live without it. Okay, if it
When people
stays,
have
it's also okay.
appendicitis, then
In
when
the
people have
appendicitis, this is the inflammation of the appendix. A lot of, for example, substances can get into the appendix accidentally, and they will stay there for a long time. This is the best place for bacteria to grow, and the appendix will be inflamed. Okay, so appendix will be inflamed, and so that means воспаление, and after that you will have strong pain, and you should be immediately get rid of this appendix. Okay, in this case, they remove the appendix, but still you will live without the appendix. It's like rudiment organ. You have the coccyx, right? You have the coccyx. It's also rudiment organ. You can live without it as well. Okay, kopchik request. So this is rudimental organ, not much function. They're proving this for immunity, not much. You can live without the tonsils as well. You can live without it as well. So nothing much. Okay, any questions? So let's count the alimentary canal structures: mouth, esophagus, stomach, then duodenum, jejunum, ileum, right? And then cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, then sigmoid colon, rectum, anus. You should know all of them. All of them should be memorized. A second name for the colon is large intestine. Okay, Tolstoy Kishka. And the vitamins and minerals, they are also essential part of the digestive system. So we have two types of the vitamins. The first is um, fat soluble vitamins. What's the meaning of fat soluble? Fat soluble means you can only take them with fat, or you can take them after the fat. Okay, after the breakfast, after oily products, you can take them so that they will be absorbed fast with oil, okay, with fats. So examples for the fat soluble vitamins are vitamin A, vitamin D, E, K. A, D, E, K, you should know for the exam purposes, okay? A is really important for the vision, for the reproduction, for the bone health. They are important for the immune system, and for the skin. They are really important. And vitamin D is strengthen the bones, and also it's the transporter of the calcium from the intestine until the bones. Okay, so the calcium absorption is better with vitamin D. Without the vitamin D, only 20% of the calcium is absorbed, but with the vitamin D, 80% will be absorbed from your intestine. And also, it's important for the immune system. Vitamin E also, it flushes the toxins. It's good for your skin. Good skin health will be after the vitamin E intake. And if you have dry skin, you can take the vitamin E, or it's good for the immune system as well. So vitamin K, it's fat soluble also. You can see it in the broccoli. It's good for the blood clotting, свертывание крови, and it's good for the bone health as well. Okay, so most important vitamins A, B, C, D, E, and K. Most important minerals: iron, calcium for the bones, and iodine for the thyroid gland. Okay, iron for the hemoglobin. So vitamin A needed to make the retinal in your eye, a chemical necessary for the sight, for vision. Okay, so deficiency of the vitamin A causes the night blindness. Vitamin B, many different forms, starting from the B1 until B12. They are needed for the cellular respiration to make NAD plus and FAD plus. Okay, and for the DNA replication as well, we need the vitamins. If you have deficiency of the vitamin B, might have the skin disorders, mental confusions, and anemia. Vitamin C is important to make the collagen, okay? To make the collagen fiber in connective tissue. Wounds won't heal without the vitamin C, and you will have scurvy, marskaya болезнь, okay? So you will have scurvy without the deficiency of the vitamin C. Your gums will bleed. And vitamin D needed for calcium absorption. If you have deficiency of the vitamin D, it leads to the weak bones and teeth, and it can lead to the rickets, rahit. Okay, so vitamin E needed to protect the cell membranes from the damage. So without them, you can get the anemia, dry skin as well. And vitamin K need for blood clotting. Without them, you will bruise easily. They will be everywhere in your skin that will be bluish in color or blackish in color. This is called bruising. Your red blood cells are gonna die. And so a lot of thrombocytes will be there and bleed extensively. Okay, excessively bleeding happens. So non-stop bleeding without vitamin K. And the iron, this is the mineral needed for in hemoglobin to transport the oxygen among the tissues. Deficiency leads to the anemia. And the calcium is also a mineral needed for the strong bones and teeth and also for the muscle contractions. Calcium is important. In children, for example, deficiency leads to the rickets. Right? In adults, the deficiency of the calcium is called osteomalacia that weakens the bone. Iodine, this is also a mineral needed to make the thyroxine. Thyroxine is a hormone which is made in your thyroid gland. Okay. Um, this is a thyroid hormone. Deficiency leads to hypothyroidism, which decreases the metabolic rate in your body, and also it causes obesity because low metabolism leads to the what? They lead to obesity as well. Okay, so thank you very much for joining our digestive system.